What's up everyone, my name is Roman and I'm going to try and answer one simple question in about 5 minutes, and that is, what is Bitcoin? Now, I'm sure you've seen plenty of videos, 10, 20, 30 minutes each, and they all go into way too much detail about what it is, how it works, they get too technical. Most people, they just want to have a good idea of what Bitcoin is without really understanding how it works. Now, the answer to that question is actually relatively straightforward. Bitcoin is a way to send value over the internet. Now you might not think that's so what, big deal. I've got PayPal, I use internet banking, I don't get what the fuss is about. But you use third parties which you rely on to keep track of your money, to send your money, and basically control your money to do that for you. Now the reason for that is because the internet itself is not very good at tracking who has what information. It's great at sending data across, but it's not very good at maintaining records of, well, if this person has, for example, a file or a video game or an email, then I don't want anyone else to have it. Can't do that. So this is where Bitcoin comes in. It solves what's called a double spend problem. That is, how do you make sure that a digital dollar is not spent twice? How do you know that I'm not printing money out of thin air and sending you copies of the same dollar over and over again? Up till now, we've had to rely on third parties to do that work for us, which carries its own inherent risks, which we've come to accept as part of the service. Now, having fixed the double spend problem, you can take the work of a third-party intermediary, such as a bank or a payment processor, and create a program with fixed rules, fixed conditions, a level playing field, which can never be broken without removing yourself from that network. So let's say if I try to send 1,000,000,000,000 Bitcoins, which I do not have, well, that would be breaking the rules of the Bitcoin system and therefore would not be accepted as a valid transaction. Much in the same way that the bank knows that, hey, if you write a check for $1 billion, it's going to bounce because you don't really have $1 billion. So what does this really mean and why does it matter? Well, within the Bitcoin system, you know that there are rules which cannot be broken. Much in the same way that you know the system will behave in a specific way following those same sorts of rules. So you eliminate the risk of censorship, which can exist in third-party intermediaries and banks, blocking transactions or refusing requests, not opening accounts, freezing accounts, all of that. Within Bitcoin, you know that those rules do not exist. You do not have to worry about your transaction being censored or being stopped from having an account on the Bitcoin system. There's just no rules that block that. The same exists for inflation. So within Bitcoin, there will only ever be 21 million of them. So if I hold just one, I know exactly what percentage of the total supply I will always have. Within the monetary system, within government-issued fiat, there is no guarantee of the total supply. There is constant inflation as the government issues more currency, more notes being printed every year. That breaks the rules of the Bitcoin system, and you can see why it's attractive to some people having that sort of guarantee and control over their money, over the supply, and the total value of those coins relative to the total system. I hope you walk away from this video having a slightly better understanding of what Bitcoin is. I'm sure you have lots more questions about the intricacies and the details, which is why I definitely plan to do follow-up videos about blockchain and cryptography and how does the whole system really work on a more technical level. But for now, I hope you have learned something from the video. If you have any follow-up questions, please let me know in the comment section, and make sure to subscribe to be notified when the next video comes out. See you soon.